Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Yalek, and today we are going to do a video. It's a little different from anything that I've published recently, but I'm not going to say that I haven't done a video like this in quite a while, because I actually did this video maybe a week and a half ago, except I was a little mildly peeved at the time, let's say, and there might have been some rough language involved there. A little less peeved, and I've had a little bit more time to think about what I said, so we're going to try this again. I've kept the previous video private and shared it with some friends. If you are interested, there is a link to find it somewhere in the internet, but I'm not going to publish that for the whole world. Really choice wording in there, though. We'll move on. Anyway, so that video was a rant about statues, and as it turns out, I've had a perfect opportunity to revisit that. So in this video, we're going to be talking about Boom Beach and the statue system that Supercell has created through the Sculptor here. We're going to be talking about two of my accounts, actually three. There's a third one that becomes relevant a little later on in the discussion, and we are going to be talking about two Manticore hits here in Fat Fingers. Fat Fingers is a five-man leaderboard team. We are here currently. We've sort of vacillated between here and all the way up to about as high as 11 or 10, I want to say, in our current push. That takes a lot of work. The intel requirements, the hit requirements, the boost requirements, we put a lot into this project, as do all of the teams that you see on all of these leaderboards. Same goes for these guys. We care a lot about what we're doing, so we really don't like failing. So, the previous video that I did showed a Manticore fail. Not done by this account, it was done by my oldest account, which is 6 years old as of the beginning of this month. This account is about 2 years younger. I want to say it's about 4 years old, and it is the only account that I own that has absolutely perfect statues. Currently lit because I just did my operation hit for today. The other account, the oldest one, is currently here in Red Hot Legends, where it's a 50-man and we're doing massive attack. I almost never ever have to boost. I can count on one hand the number of times that I've had to boost for this task force in 6 or 8 months. So basically this account, which is my oldest, 6 years old, is sitting on mothballs because I've decided I can no longer use it here in Fat Fingers, and here's why. Because even after 6 years, I still only have a troop damage 30%. Which is the only statue here that is not perfect. Everything else is. I've never been able to better this. And this, honestly, is relatively new. I mean, it was like a year and a half ago that I got this statue. I think I had a 29 for like 5 years on this account. Maybe not quite a year and a half ago. Anyway, normally, for the casual player under most circumstances, that difference between a troop damage 32 and a troop damage 30, as this one has, would not make a difference. However, we here are not casual players, and so I've had several. Over the years, I've only had 3 or 4 hits that I can recall that were important to me, and where I actually thought the troop damage, not having a perfect troop damage, made a difference. One of them was last week, and it was a Manticore. And it was a nasty Manticore. Just the whole thing was rockets. Rockets at the beach, rockets at the back, rockets ahead of me, rockets behind me. It was a 262 Manticore, I want to say. And it was vicious. There was very little to farm. I did anyway. Came very close. Forget what the total health is, but let's say it was like 1.7, 1.8 million, whatever it was. I left 53,700 something on it. Got to the core in pretty good shape, got nearly all of my Zookas there. Lost just a couple on the way, and that was to boom mines of all things. Normally you don't worry about your boom mines with Zookas, but in this case, with that amount of damage left over, it occurred to me later, the boom mines probably did make a difference. Because if I only lost 5 Zukas on the walk, and I'm guessing it was more. It looks like it was more, but even if it was only 5, these Zukas, when they are fully lit, let's see, here's my armory. I don't go here very often, so I have to look for it. These Zukas, when they are fully lit, as you can see, are doing a massive amount of damage per shot. That's every single Zuka right there is doing 3,600 something damage per shot. It would be slightly less on the other account that I showed you, which is the 6-year-old account. This is the 4-year-old account. But that's a lot of damage. So if I only lost 5 Zukas on that walk to the boom mines, 5 Zukas, each one doing 3,600 damage per shot, you multiply that, so it's 16 to 17,000 damage per shot between them. If, again, assuming it's only 5, it adds up pretty quickly to that 54,000 damage that I needed to take the Manticore down. And I realized, I mean, part of the reason that I failed, yeah, I did clip those couple boom mines, but part of the reason I failed could also be attributed to the fact that that's 54,000 out of 1.8 million is not a lot of damage. The statues also came into play. If I had done that attack with this account, which has a perfect 32 for its troop damage, almost assuredly, every single Zuka, every single shot doing 4% more damage, that core drops. And I suppose, I mean, I could have done an absolutely perfect walk and not clipped the boom mines, and probably also had the same result. I'm willing to take the blame for the not absolutely perfect execution of that hit, but what I'm not willing to take the blame for is the fact that my basic equipment for playing the game sucks after 6 years, or I should say not sucks, is not perfect after 6 years of playing the game. Whereas on the other hand, on another account of mine, so statue system, let's stop, I'm getting ahead of myself. So statue system, as you know, you collect your fragments, you turn them into shards, you turn the shards into crystals, you turn the crystals into powder when you've made a masterpiece statue that you don't want. So you reclaim these 7 crystals right here. I will make a statue. I will not want that statue because it's blue. I will reclaim them and turn it in, or reclaim it and turn it into powder. However, you can see over here, these red statues, I'm very interested in those. I'm very interested in purple statues because I'm an offensive player. Those are the ones that make these statues here, right? Now, the thing with the statues is they are random. The way the Sculptor produces them, the Supercell tells you that there's no way of controlling what the Sculptor produces, and it's a mystery every time. Okay, they are randomized. When you begin your account, you're basically, it's like they do a series of die rolls, and when you produce your account, the statues that your account will create for all of time are set immediately by a series of random rolls. So, for example, let's say you make a new account, and let's call it the schedule. You are scheduled to receive your statues in a certain order, and that order has been given to you randomly. However, that schedule never changes. So you could make an account where your Sculptor produces a troop damage 32, a perfect troop damage, on your 3rd try, or on your 15th try at a red statue, or on your 100th try, or on your 1st try. And I had forgotten about this, but then I made that previous video and showed it to some friends, and one, Hemlock, hi, how you doing, pointed out that I was describing him. That scenario happened to him. He made, on his 1st try making a troop damage statue, he made a perfect one. So it's possible to have a perfect statue from day 1 playing the game, and it's also possible not to have a perfect statue 6 years into the game, and that's pretty annoying. That also happened to me with a GBE statue on another account, which is my crab account, and that would be, let's find that. We'll watch this Manticore hit in a second, and we'll show you why all this matters. I can't show you the previous hit, it's off the log, but this one here, yeah, hi, those are all me. This is my crab account, and it has 3 GBE statues, 7 damage. This GBE statue I got on my second try, making a purple masterpiece. My very first masterpiece on this account was a GBE 21, which I thought was lucky at the time. It actually is. I could have been getting PSD statues or resource reward statues. Instead, I got a gunboat right off the bat. And then, on my second statue attempt, doubled it and have here this perfect GBE 42 on my second try. So you can have perfect statues from day one playing this game. And then again, you can also play for, I mean, at this point I'm at 6 years, and I don't have that perfect troop damage on my oldest account. Also, I have friends who have played the game even longer and cannot roll. In particular, Kirk, who's out there somewhere. Hi, Kirk. Kirk has been playing the game, I think, for about as long as anybody possibly could have. I think the game is about 7 years old, and he's been playing like pretty much from day one, and has not made a perfect GBE on any account. And Supercell tells us that all of this is fair. I and other people have been vocal about this problem over the years, and the only response that we ever get is that Supercell considers the statue system to be fair and balanced. I don't know how anyone can consider that to be fair and balanced. Personally, I think that is a load of horse crap. Yes, I got extremely lucky on this particular account, but on the other hand, I've been extremely unlucky on that other account that I showed you with the TD30, and on all of my accounts, because again, I have a lot, and this is the only one that I have perfect statues, and in particular for me, the troop damage is the problem. So yeah, tell me how that system is fair, and also tell me why anybody is going to play a mobile game for this long, really. Like, how can you expect rationally that people are going to stick with a game for a mobile game? Like, mobile games come and go. People play them for a month or two and delete them from their phone. And here, I mean, Boom Beach is a great game. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I've been playing it for a very long time for that reason, because it is such a great game, and the depth and the nuance are just spectacular. The same goes for the other people I have been talking about, the other people here, the other people here, and here, and people here. Like, we care because it's a great game and it matters, but on the other hand, it's extraordinarily frustrating to care that much and still be hampered just by your basic equipment at this point in the process. And if you're going to try and tell me that you think that that's all fair and balanced, then I'm going to tell you that I don't know where they're buying a load of horse crap like that, but it is not here, so get out of here with that nonsense. Miss me with that bullshit, as Trevor Noah says. So, we're going to look at this Minotaur from a couple of days ago, which was the opposite story. So, the previous Manticore, really nasty one, was a fail, and it was a fail by a hair's breadth. And I decided that I couldn't keep that account here anymore, because I can't have that. I can't fail these hits when it matters so much to us. I can't fail these hits for lack of basic equipment. These guys deserve better. So I moved accounts around. This one being with the perfect damage, it's going to go here, because if 4% matters, then 4% matters. And the other one can go and sit off to the side, I guess, 6 years old or not. It's my oldest account, it's my favorite account, and it's going to go sit on mothballs, because I can't use it for this purpose. I could use it for just about any other regular, everyday, casual kind of purpose. But for this, where it matters, I've got to have the best equipment available. So I put this account here. And that actually proved to be a good idea, because then, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Yeah, 2 days ago, we had yet another Manticore. I'm the Manticore guy here. So whenever there's a Manticore that comes up, I'm always the first one. Well, everybody's got a job to do. That one is mine. This, however, only a 226 Manticore, not rockets everywhere. The other one had rockets here and all rockets through here. 2 rows of rockets back here. Like, this one is a far, far nicer Manticore. However, as it turns out, let's see the health here, 0.5, 1.7 million. That was a 24. That mine is usually a boom mine, so that had to go. The boom mines that I hit in that other hit, by the way, the one that I was that was the fail, and the boom mines probably made a difference. There was one right here, and I lost a couple girls to it. And then there's the one right here, usually is a boom mine. In this case it was a regular mine, and it was a max mine, so it had to go. Usually the one here is a boom mine, and it is a level 16. Usually a brick can't tank that for you. She can't handle a 20. That would kill her. So you'd have to remove it in that case, but I left it because it was a 16. However, I delayed her drop a little bit too much, so she didn't get out front quite as much as she normally would, and so she did not get to this boom mine before the Zookas did. So in that previous hit, as I said, my performance could have been better also. So one boom mine there, lost a few girls, one boom mine there, lost a few girls. That was pretty much the only thing in that hit that could have been improved. And as I said, that would have accounted for the 54,000 health that I failed to get. Now in this case, just not at all. Over here, I could just keep farming and farming. I could have farmed all afternoon, except I was running low on time. The other one didn't offer much to farm. I really could have used that GBE. This is not the same kind of Manticore. However, in result, it does end up being fairly similar. We can skip ahead here to the very end of the hit. We want to get to the parking spot, and I want to slow down the finish on the hit because it is, again, razor thin, skin of your teeth, hair's breadth margin. In this case, luckily, it was a win, and in this case, the fault, it shouldn't have been that close. The fault was completely my own. Because I don't know why I decided to try to do things differently. There was no reason to, but I did, and that was not the right play. Anyway, was lucky enough to be able to eke out a victory, and you can judge by the ending on this video whether or not that extra 4% damage made a difference here. I think it did in the positive way, whereas in the other instance the difference was in the negative way. So critters are out. You're going to see 4 shocks land pretty quickly here. The critters, this is all pretty standard, but those critters should have been a little bit lower down. Don't know why I threw them there, and then did not proceed to follow up with 2 more batches of critters. So I don't have a lot of Zookas left. I should have more Zookas than this. But look how close this is at the core. Zookas get off. I mean, everything turns. There's one more shot here. Zookas die. You can see me barraging the core. That was really, really close. And probably, if you take 4% damage off every single shot, that was done. This is the perfect account, but if this was not the perfect account, probably I don't win on this hit. In this case, it's strictly my own fault. In the other case, it was not strictly my own fault. But this is why it's just absolutely crucial for me, the way I've come to see it. Like, I have to have the perfect one here, and then the other one had to go away, because I just can't afford for things to be that close and to fail. For, again, just basic game equipment. That's what this is. I mean, you can upgrade all of this stuff over here on your own time, but this, you really don't have control over it, because, again, the Sculptor does his mystery man thing. You can't control what he's doing, and you don't know what he's going to produce. And the real problem for me there, though, is that it's just preset. You make your account, and for all time, the statue order that the Sculptor is going to produce for you has been determined. You don't know it, so you could get your perfect statue, whichever one it is you need. It doesn't matter. For me, it tends to be troop damage. For, again, Kirk, poor Kirk, it is gunboat energy. He's just absolutely cursed. Whatever your particular problem might be, you could get your perfect statue on the 50th try. It might be 6 or 7 years. At this point, who knows? It could be 10 years. I mean, if you've had 7 years of bad luck, what's to say that it won't continue? In theory, everything averages out in the end, but guess what? That's not how it works in practice. Other people don't have this issue at all. For example, Sven here, teammate, has, I think, 7 or 8 accounts, and he has perfect statues on all of them, and he's just utterly confused by my inability to produce perfect statues, or anybody else's. That's how it goes for most players, I think. Some people get especially unlucky on some accounts. Other people get especially lucky, as I did with the GBE on that grab account, as Hemlock did with the troop damage on his account. That was the very first statue he produced. The luck might average out in aggregate, but when it comes to specific cases like this, it does not necessarily. And again, to expect people to play a mobile game for this long and tolerate something like that is just absolutely insane. I don't know what Supercell is thinking, but I don't even believe that they buy their own line when they say that the statue system is fair and balanced. Also, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, it's probably a video for another day because we're starting to run long here. I don't believe there's anything they can do about it, and I think that's why they feed us a bullshit line, because they actually can't fix it, so they just come up with a lame excuse to cover for themselves. But we'll talk about that another day, I guess. I have lots more to say about statues if anyone is interested in hearing it. I don't know that anyone is interested in hearing it, but if you are, let me know, because I could make probably 5 more videos telling you what's wrong with statues, how they could be fixed. Yeah, either way, I'm gonna let you guys go, but like the video, thumbs up, leave a comment. I would love to hear more stories from people who, as Hemlock reminded me about his troop damage very first try out, I would love to hear more stories about that, because it just goes to prove the point that this system is completely jacked up. Anyway, I will catch you guys later. Take care, have a great day.